today's new topic will be dictionaries. Dictionaries are like lists, but instead of numbers for getting each item, it's made of keys and items. So instead of numbers, you can put anything in there. So here's an example. So let's say A is, for dictionaries you use curly braces, and let's say this is like an RPG game where you go to weaponry and they're selling weapons for a certain price. So something like axe would be how many gold pieces? Maybe 3 gold pieces or something. Let's make it 7. Because usually daggers are cheaper, right? Dagger 2. What other things are there? Can you name a few? Haven't you? Staff? Okay, yeah, staff. Yeah, staff is cheap as well. It's useless. Yeah. Anything else? There are like things like short sword, right? This will be something like, I'll say, about the same price, slightly cheaper than the axe, and I would say broadsword would be more expensive, something like 10. Okay, so that's your weaponry, and I think what we should do is we should not name this as A, but name this as like price. Okay, so do this, and then of course if you ask what the price is, it will tell you all of these. And now if you want to know the price of any item, you just have to put that item in, and now it'll tell you what it is. Okay? Okay, and the terminology in the dictionary. So this is called a dictionary, and the terminology for a dictionary is that you have these as keys, and these are values, keys and values. Okay? So if you look at the type of what this price is, it'll say dict. It's a dictionary type, and you will have price.keys, and if you enter it, doesn't do anything because it's just a function. And then if you do this, it will give you all the keys of the price. It's like as we always do, let's dir price to see what kinds of methods are available in the price. If you look at this, you also get keys, values, items. Okay, so if you have price values, parenthesis, it'll give you the values as separately. And if you do items, it will give you each of these as pairs. Now there is one more data type. By the way, you kind of see that although we've been through 5 lectures of Python, we spent a lot of time talking about what kind of data there is, right? And that's because the more data, I mean, what's a computer language? Computer language deals with data types, and you have to allow the computer language to process different kinds of data. That's why it's important to know what kind of data types are there. And then if you go deeper into Python, you see that there are these other packages like NumPy and Pandas that would allow you another type of data types which is more efficient and useful. Yeah. You have a question? Yes?
Yeah, so wait, so the price dot items is what?
Oh, if you look at price, it's a key and value pair, right? And then you see that's given as a tuple or tuple. So there are a few other things that I haven't mentioned, by the way. So there's something called a tuple or tuple, which you can use parentheses for. So if you do A equals to 3, 4, and then bunny, just like that. And if you ask what the type of A is what's called a tuple or tuple. I think more people pronounce it as tuple. I'll pronounce it as tuple. All right, so you have a tuple, 3, 4, bunny. And the difference between a list and a tuple is that tuple is, again, immutable. So if you say A of 0 is equals to 5, it will say tuple object does not support item assignment. So you do, tuples also contain items, different items, but it's because it's immutable, it behaves a little differently. Now, in some cases, they say tuple is more efficient and faster because if you don't allow item assignment, then you can make it simpler or something. But in practice, tuple is almost like you use it, but not much. Okay. There's another thing called a set. So if you say A is equal to, let's make a list of 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 8. Now you can make a set of A, and you can see that sets also have curly braces, but what happened when I did set of A? The same objects, yes. Yeah, so same objects got deleted, right? So if you see 3 twice, it only gives you once. Okay? So that's often useful when you need to get rid of the duplicate objects. So suppose you have some list A that has a lot of duplicates and you need to make it into an item that's a set of unique lists. Then what you can do is you can do list of set of A, and that will get rid of any duplicates. So that's another one. And then going back to price items, you can see that when you do dict items, it gives you all the elements of the dictionary with the key and value pair, and that key value pair is presented as a tuple. So this gives you a list of a tuple, right? And of course, if you do list of price items, then it will just take this and give you this list. Okay. So you see the basics. Price dot keys, like that, right? Price dot values and price dot items. All right, so now let's talk about looping over a dictionary. So you can loop over a dictionary, and what happens is that if you loop over a list, the for loop fetches one by one item from the list, right? But when you loop over a dictionary, it fetches one key at a time. So for example, let's say for W for weapon, W in the dictionary price, and then if you do print W and W and then W comma the price of the W, it will give you this. Okay. Or if you want to make it look nicer, you might just want to do something like plus tab several times, and then price. Sorry. The price is an integer, sorry. So I should really do string of the price. Okay. Slightly better. I guess you really want to work a little bit more if you need everything to align. Yeah, I can think of some solutions now, but let's not go too far. So let's just think about what this is doing. So W in price, what it really does is it fetches item by item from the keys. So when this for loop executes, the first time it executes, W fetches the first key, which is the X, okay? And it prints the weapon name because that's the key. And then it also prints the price of that weapon, because the price is a dictionary where if you provide the weapon, then it will give you back the number. Is that okay? All right, so another thing that you can do is let's say we want to know the damage each weapon can do. So let's say damages is X will cause 10 health points off, dagger like 3, staff 2, weaker, but it might have different purposes, you know. Short sword, remember we made it cheaper than the axe, so let's make it like 8. And broadsword, it's a lot more expensive, so let's put it like something like 14. Okay, the problem with this damages is that right now it's not a dictionary. So if I ask what's the damages caused by X, it's gonna complain, right? So for listen, this has to be numbers. You can't put in words like that. So I want to show you how to build a dictionary from a list. And the command is like this. First, we're going to make a list of weapons. And weapons will be the list made from the keys of the price.keys. Okay, and then let's see what's in the weapons. So that's a list of these weapons, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take one item from the weapons and pair it with the damage number, okay? And that command is called zip. Just like, you know, when you zip your shirts or pants, like 2 sides become paired and it becomes 1. So that's the idea. So if you do zip of weapons to damages, it will create something, but right now it doesn't yet create anything. It is just this, which means zip is not yet a list, it's an iterable. You can iterate one by one. For example, you can do a for loop over this zip of weapons and damages, and you can, so for example, if you do for K in zip weapons and damages, and colon, and then you print K, it's going to you can see that it paired one by one. X was paired with this number 10, dagger was paired with this number 3, and it printed one by one. And what is this again? What is this object in Python if you have a parenthesis? Do you remember? That's called tuple. Okay, yeah, so it gives you a tuple of a weapon and the damage it can cause when you use it. So so we can see that zip gives you an iterable, which you can iterate with the for loop. The reason that they don't yet build a list right off the bat is because if you build a list, it will take up another memory space, and sometimes that's not desired. It's faster to just have it as a hypothetical iterable and then only iterate stuff when you ask it to. So that's why some things are iterable, not an actual list. We had one example of that before. We had something called a map. If you recall, we had like in lecture 2 or 3, we were mapping a function to a list. Oh, don't type this yet. So that was something that applied the function to every member item in the list, which again created an iterable, right? Which doesn't produce a list yet. To make a list out of it, we had to put list of the map. So remember that we did such a thing when we were building the Pig Latin code, right? Okay. So now, in the same way, if we want to build this into something else, we can, one way to do it would be we can put it as a list. And it gives you a list of the key value pairs. But this is not what we want. We want a dictionary instead, right? So that X will be the key and then 10 will be the value. So if you wanted to do it that way, guess what the command is? Can you guess what the command is to create a dictionary instead of a list? Say it. DICT, yes. It'll be that one, and then you just copy that. Paste it over here. And close it. And perfect. Now we have the damages. Okay? So we can now define a new dictionary, which I'll call it damage rather than damages. Damage dictionary. Okay. So that's what I get, and try to press the up arrow so that it will go back to the previous ones. And here's what if you go way up, keep pressing up arrow until you see right here where we printed the price and the name of the weapon and the price. So maybe we can go to the very beginning, click the mouse to the very beginning, and we'll say something like print welcome to Bob's Amazing Weapons. Okay, and then /n, and then print what would you, no, I should say print something like print weapon, right? And then /t, and then price, or maybe gold. No, let's say price. /t, and what should I name this? Amount of damage you can make. Just, power or something. Power of the weapon, right? Something like that, right? And then we say, put over here plus another /t to put some tabs, and then make the string out of now the new dictionary. We created the damage dictionary. Right? So, yes, you have a question?
Yeah. How do you make another line, like the second line where it says print weapon /t
Oh, okay. So the question I got was, how do you make this second line appear? Sometimes in the this right panel is called IPython. It's called the interactive Python, and sometimes you don't want the IPython to execute everything at once. Rather, you want it to get different commands and execute all at once. If you want to make new lines appear, there are just two ways. If you have like something like for loop or if then with a colon, it just creates a new line naturally, and then you can just use your mouse to go to different places. Or another way to do this is just don't enclose the parentheses. You just open a parenthesis and don't include the parenthesis, and then you can go back and include the parentheses afterwards. Okay? And it will create the new line. But my intention was not to type everything from scratch. You should know how to use the up arrow in your keyboard to recall all the typing that you've done. See, we do a lot of typing in this course, so you really need to know these keyboard shortcuts. You have to do up arrows to get all the previous typings that you've done. Also, if possible, try to use the tab completion to complete the methods or variable names and stuff like that, okay? All right, so going back, string, we have the damage, and then that the weapon can cause, and then we have this, and then to add a final touch after printing everything, we'll print after some \n, what would you like to buy, traveler? Traveler? Yeah. $2 or $1. Okay. Anyways, something like this. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks crappy right now because I have to somehow make the text size same. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make a function that makes a text size that would like add in blanks at the end to make it equal. So so define add blank. Add blank. So if you have a string, the idea is to make it all length what is it, 15 or something. Okay, so length 15. So here's how many blank spaces that you would need. So first, you have to look at the length of the string, and how many would be computed by subtracting from 15 the length of the string. Right. And then you simply return the string plus what you do is you just add blanks times how many. So maybe I didn't tell you this. If you have a string and you have a multiplication, then it just repeats that many times. Okay. So so this will make all the strings as length 15. Let's see if that works. So let's go over here to the previous one and do add underscore blank w. So the blanks will be added. Let's see how that works. Okay, that's much better. I guess weapon needs a little bit more space, so we'll just add space. Just put something like this. Let's see how that works. Okay, maybe I did too much. Just delete a little bit. Okay, that looks, oh, even the power is not good. I should get rid of this. And maybe even this space. Okay. All right, that looks nice, right? So, yes. You probably named it slightly differently, or there's a spelling mistake somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of giving you some ideas about how you can make a text-based RPG game using Python with all these dictionaries, and you can get weapons, you can define shields, armory, and you can even make these creatures that you fight against. Yeah. So, yeah, I made one long time ago. I can't find it. Yeah, but if I have it, I'll show you. Right? Okay, so we created this part of a supposedly RPG game, but then my point is really trying to tell you what dictionaries can do. Okay, so these are the data types that we've learned so far. We learned strings, we learned integers. What else did we learn? Lists. Okay, what else? Dictionary. What else? There are the two more that we learned today. Huh? What did you say? Boolean. Oh, we did Boolean a long time ago. Yes, yes. Yeah, we have the Boolean, bool. Yes. Tuple. We did the tuple. And one last thing, set. Okay? So these are all the basic data types of Python. And Python comes with a lot. If you look at languages like C++ or C, they don't have this rich availability of data types. So anytime you want to do something like this, you will have to load new packages to use them. So Python is convenient because it gives you all these data types for you to interact with data as you want. Okay. Any questions so far? If there isn't any question, I will now proceed to make a new project for today, which will be guess the capital. All right. So we're gonna make like a quiz game. It'll give you the state, and you have to figure out what the capital is. Okay. So to do that, we will need to go to Google. Let's see. We're going to do, yeah, I was looking at Pokemon if I could do that, but it's not doable. So states and capitals and TXT. So you want to put TXT so that it doesn't give you all these fancy sites, it just gives you the raw data. And for me, the first one that came up with was one from GitHub. I always like to go to the GitHub one because GitHub data sets are used in other projects, so it's like really bare bone. So if you found this, hopefully you did. If you can't find it, maybe you want to add this something more to be more specific. Wicked cool shell scripts, so maybe you can add something like wicked cool shell scripts or something like that, and it'll definitely lead you to this one. So let's go to that one. And that's perfect. It gives you all the pairs of state and this, the capital, state capitals.txt. Now, we could download it and do it like how we did the previous one. What did we do last Tuesday? Hangman, right? So we did Hangman by downloading it and storing it. And you remember how it works, right? You have to do with, open, and then you have to provide the states.capital .txt and then as f, and then you do for line in f, and then you have to do something. That's how you would use use the file. Once you download it as a file, that's how you can use it. Now today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to just copy and paste it to this left pane. So let's go to the raw, click raw, and I have this, and it's not much, so you can just Control A, which will just select everything, and Control C, copy everything. And what we want to do is I want to make a new Python file, Control A and delete, so that it doesn't give you anything. And instead of pasting right away, we're going to do this. I'm going to say data equals to triple quotes. So triple single quotes, like that. So make sure that you have triple single. It's hard to see, so that's what I do. Data is equal to triple single quotes. And what we are going to do is we're going to now Control V or right click and paste everything that we just copied. So everything's there. Do you remember what the triple quotes do? Anyone? What does this do? It's a multi-line string, right? So you have multi-line string, so you have to enclose it triple quotes. Okay. So if you enclose it with triple quotes, now you have data as this thing. And we're going to save this, save as, and we're going to name it as capitals dot py, just like any Python file. Okay? Capitals.py. Is that okay? Now, once you have it that way, then over here, in a new, so you have yet another new Python, open a new Python file. And what you're going to say is you're going to import that Python file that you just made, which is capitals. So I'm just going to say capitals. And then let's do print capitals dot data. Okay. And it's kind of cool because it read the Python file, so you can see that import not only imports packages made by other people, you can also make your own stuff. You can make something called capitals.py, import capitals, and now inside capitals we have this data, and that's being imported. Now, such a way of programming allows you to break down stuff. See, if I could, another way to make the program is to, I could have this as the initial part of the Python code and then start programming over here, but then the Python code becomes longer and it's harder to read. It's good to like break a large program into small parts. Okay, so this is how you would do it. All right, so while helping some people, I realized that if your code is not working, something you can do is you can put the .py right here, and it might work. It's just the problem with the naming. If you saved as capitals.py, sometimes Python will just add another .py after that. Py is the file for Python. So that's what happens. Okay, so, all right, so that's all good. Okay, now let's think about what capitals data is like. So if you look at this file, what do you see? It's state and capital pair, right? It's capital pair of state and capital. How would we convert this into a list? Any ideas? Any suggestions? Was there a way to split a string into a bunch of items in a list? What was it? What? No, that wasn't it. the command was split. I just said that in the answer. So split with \n. And what this does, it will split everything into
Capital N?
yeah, so I did capitals dot data dot split \n. Yeah. This \n means the enter. And the reason I did this was because I saw that every line has a state and capital pair. Is that good? Okay. Now what? Now what we're going to do is, from this list, we're going to get the pair of state and capital. Okay, so we're going to make two lists. So let's do it this way. We're going to do states equals to open a bracket, and instead of closing the bracket, let's press enter so that it gives you a new line, right? And then you go back here, close the bracket now. And that way you have a new line, right? So states equals to empty list, and capitals equals to another empty list. No. I shouldn't close it. So let's make some new lines. So now let's enclose it, okay? And now what we're going to do is, on the next line, we're going to do for line in the capitals dot data dot split with \n. What we are going to do is first, if the line that you just fetched from this list is empty, sometimes that happens, right? So you see that over here we have a empty item, right? And there's another empty item here. Sometimes that happens, and we want to skip those bad cases. So what we're going to do is, in the next line, we're going to say if line.strip. So we just get rid of all the blank spaces, okay? Line.strip is equals to an empty string. Then we're not going to do anything. We'll just go to the next line. How do you make the in a for loop, how do you make the rest of them be skipped and go to the next line? And that's continue, all right? If you do continue, it will just skip everything that I put afterwards. Okay? So now that we've managed to just skip over the lines that are nothing, we're definitely sure that the things that we fetch will have a pair where the first one is the state and the second one is a capital. Okay. The next thing that you have to do is you should first get rid of the trailing spaces. Some of them has these trailing spaces. I don't like it. So let's make sure that those are gone by using the strip again. But once you have line dot, so line equals to line dot strip, just get rid of it. But then you need to now split this line. When you have this line, you have to split this line using this empty space in between. How do you do that? What command do you use? Split. Yeah, again, yeah. I'm asking an easy question, so don't hesitate to answer. Right? So what we do is we take line dot split with blank space. And what this does is it creates a list where the first item is the state and second item is the capital. Now, but then I need to fetch one by one, so I'll say C comma S is equal to line dot split, and I don't think I've ever shown you this. So in Python, what you can do is, if you know the number of items exactly, if you know that this is going to be exactly 2 items, then you can assign it like C comma S, so that the first item gets assigned to the variable C, and the second item gets assigned to the variable S. Okay, that's a quick way to do things. It's a lot better than the following code. Don't do this one. I'm just showing you the one that's like not so easy to read and kind of ugly. So you can say C is equal to this, S equals to line dot split like that with the first item. You can do this, but that's harder to read and it's ugly, right? It's much better to not do it this way. Rather, if you're sure that it's going to be 2 items, just say C comma S is line dot split. Is that?
You can do it on the like you can do C comma.
Oh yeah. So if this list had 3 items, you can do C comma S comma B or something like that. Yeah. Just all you need to make sure is that the number of variables that you're assigning matches with the number of items inside the list. Okay, thank you. That's a great question. Okay, so you do that, and now I need to put C in the list of, no, it's not states in capital. I got it backwards, sorry. S and C, right? S comma C. So I need to put the states, S into the list of states. How do you include S into the list of states? What's the command? We've done this many times. How do you take an item and include it into the list? Say it. Append. Very good. So it's states dot append S. So that's going to be appended into the states. And then guess what the next line will be? Capitals dot append what? C, right? Yeah. Okay, and that's it. Now we've converted. Oh no, it's just a minute. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. See, I've overwritten this capitals. Capitals in our case was something that's imported, but because I made capitals something else, it destroyed my previous call. So now that's no good. We have to name this separately. Let's run this first again, okay? And go up arrow. It's a common mistake. That's why when programs become bigger, naming becomes a real headache. Okay, so let's name this list something else. What should I name this? Capital list. Okay. All right, that's not so neat, but we'll just live with it. Okay, capital underscore list. That's what we're going to name it. Now that means we have to change something here as well. What should we change? This capitals is okay because that it's referring to this data, but now I have to go over here, capital list. And if I was reviewing the code, I would also comment that in that case we have to format the states as well and make this as state underscore list. But let's just live with this. Okay, this is ugly code. Yeah, it's not the best code. All right. Oh come on, what's the problem? Oh, what is the line? What is this? What is this? What is the capital of Oregon?
Salem, Portland.
Salem and
It is two, it is two.
Salem dash
Well,
Portland?
Technically one word.
Ah, okay. Okay, so that's not good. All right, so we need to change the Salem Portland into a single letter, okay, before we process this, okay. Now, apparently the person who made this made an error because I like the data set. If you go to the data set and look at how it looks, you see that a lot of the two-word names have hyphen between, so it's easy to separate. St. Paul, just like that. Yeah, but then, yeah, just like that, they put this hyphen there. But this person just forgot to put this between this. Okay, so
The Portland's not supposed to be the capital of Oregon, it's just Salem.
it's just Salem?
Just Salem.
Oh, okay, okay. So if that's true, let's do the following. To make sure that you only fetch the first two, we will put right after this, open a bracket, colon 2. So what it does is, even if this has list size 3, it will only take the first 2 items, okay? Then it's going to assign those 2 items to SNC. So it's a bit of a hacking. I would say if let's say you're building this guess the capital game, and if this was in the 80s when computers are weak, you could actually make this and sell it as a educational game. It's crappy, but back then it was possible. Yeah, good times. All right, but anyways, so if you were to do that, then you would really go to the data itself and change the data rather than change the code, but we're just hacking, okay? All right, so let's see. Okay, perfect, it worked. Okay, so let's see. States, all good. Capitals, capital list, underscore and tab complete, okay? All good, so it looks fine.
Wait, how did you do that?
Capital underscore list. Now there is something that I don't like about this. Usually when we talk about Rhode Island, we do Rhode Space Island, not Rhode Dash Island. So this hyphen in between is not so good. We need to change it. So let's improve this slightly more. What we're going to do is when we append, we're going to replace the hyphen. So how do you do that? Replace hyphen, comma, a blank space, just like that. Okay, and do the same thing for, should be another one. And then do the same thing. Let's copy this much and just paste it over here. So it's the same thing. Okay. Now if I run it, states, perfect, okay? All right, so let me now copy this over here. So I have a part of the code that will work. Okay, so we have the states and capitals. Now the next thing that we need to build is we need to make a dictionary of capital dictionary, where if you provide the, say, New York, for example, then it's going to tell me that the capital of New York is Albany, something like that, right? But that would mean that the capital should be what kind of object? It should be a dictionary, right? It should be a dictionary. But we haven't made a dictionary yet. How would you build a dictionary out of the 2 lists? What's the command? We just did it today. DICT of. You have to take 2 lists and build a dictionary. How do you take 2 lists and build a dictionary? Can you remember? Anyone? Huh? No. Anyone? No? It was a zip, like a zipper, right? Zip. So if I zip states and the capital list, underscore list, it's going to create a dictionary, right? So I'm going to define that as my capital. Now, this is nice because now capital can tell me, capital of Virginia, for example. It says Richmond. Awesome. So we're ready. The computer now knows how to do find the capital. So let's take that over here. Okay, so now let's add some more. Let's add the main code. So we'll have to import random. So let's put, usually import statements should be up there, so we'll put it right here, import random. So import random. If we import random, let's import random first. There is something called the random.choice. Okay, random.choice. Choices. Let's ask a question how this works. Random.choices. It says you get the population, and then K is the number of elements. So now when you make a function, there are two types of parameters in the function. You can pass on something without anything, but just put anything in here as the parameter. But sometimes you want to say K equals to something, or cumulative weights equal to something, and that's oh, this is with replacement. That's not good. Is there a way to choose without replacement? Let's see. TIR random. Okay, let's do something else. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the states, okay, and then we're going to shuffle it. So random.shuffle states. Okay. And then if you look at the states, now it's going to be different, and we're going to choose 3 states. Okay. Actually, let's choose 4 states. Okay, so we choose 4 states. If you do random.shuffle and then do states 4, then it will again be 4 different states, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to, our target state will be the first guy, Nebraska, okay, something like that. So here's what we'll do. First, choices is equal to, oh no, I should first random.shuffle states, okay, and then choices would be let me see, choices would be, so what I'm thinking of is, you know, we could make this into a, like, make the user to type in the entire capitals, but that's too much. That's hard to play. You really want this to be multiple choice, okay? So what you want to do is you want to build possible choices, and the way we are going to populate the choices list is like for S in states, the first 4 of them, okay? Choices dot append, we're going to append the capitals of these states, okay? So S is a state in the first 4 of the states. What we're going to do is we're going to do capital of the capital of S, okay. Okay. Let's run this. Let's see what it does. Okay. Let's not make it print. Let's not make it print. It's not what we want. Let's delete the print statement. Let's run it. Okay, so now we have choices. As Tallahassee, Carson City, Des Moines, Santa Fe, right? Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do shuffle the choices again, right? So random dot shuffle choices, and now let's print out the question and get the user answer, right? So here's what we'll do. So print what is the state capital of, okay, space, and then plus states 0. Okay, so the state 0 will pick the very first guy, right? And then plus question mark. Okay. So you have that. And then we're going to print the choices one by one, right? And a nice thing you can do is something called enumerate. So we're going to do for I comma item in enumerate of the choices. And then we're going to print I comma item. I just realized that if you do this, it'll start from 0, so I have to add 1. Okay, print I plus 1, an item. Okay, so let's try to run what we have so far. Okay, good. So we have this. We can cheat by looking at what was the supposed answer. Was states of 0. What is the capital of the state 0? Santa Fe, so number 4 is the correct answer, right? Okay, and then A equals to input your choice. Okay. Okay, so that's your choice. It's going to be a number, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to say A is equal to, well, I need this to be a string, integer, not a string. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, first strip A out of anything extra that's print input. So empty spaces are going to be gone, and then we're going to make this into an integer, int of a dot strip, and then I'll subtract 1 because there's a discrepancy of 1 should be 0, 2 should be 1, and stuff like that. So you do this, and what we're going to do is if choices of A, the one that was chosen, is equal to the capital of this state 0, capital of state 0, then what do we say? Print, you got it right. Okay? And then, else, what do? Print, no. The state, I'll just say, nope, that is incorrect. Okay, so, all right, so at least we can play one game. Let's see, let's save this. Run it. Your choice. Okay, what's the capital of Wyoming? Does anyone know? Shane and Eugenio? Cheyenne. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's good. You're pretty good. All right. So that's how you would play. But now we need to put a point system and a title and all that. Okay. So let's now make this more beautiful. And of course, we only have 4 minutes. So anything that we don't finish will be your homework. Okay. So print backslash n, backslash n, backslash n, okay? And then guess the capital. Some exclamation mark to make it nicer. And then we'll put a point or score. Score will be 0. And then everything in here will be now in a for loop. We'll just repeat it 10 times. So you can play it 10 times. So we're going to do for I in range 10. And then we're going to select all this until the random here. Select all this until the random. And press tab so that the entire thing is now in the tab. But then we need to keep scores. So where should I modify in here? If you got it right, I should keep score. So give me a suggestion. What should I do? No, we did the score. Score is 0. So what do we do? Where is correct? How do you know it's correct? Yeah, right here, this line. If choice A is capital states, then it's right. So what we do here, we add a new line. And let's just say every correct is like 10 points, okay? Yeah. And then at the end of the thing, but then one thing that we have to do is we should put some backslash n before each question so that it will, there's some spacing between the questions, okay? So now after the game's done, you say print your score is space, comma, score, comma, out of 100. Okay? And now we have a full running game, which we should play, right? We have 1 minute, but we'll play. Okay. Change what? What did you say? Okay. All right. So what's the Montana? I don't know. I have no idea. Helena. Oh, I got it right. Okay. California. Sacramento. No, that's Texas. Oh, you got it right. Okay. All right. Missouri. Santa Fe. Is it? Jefferson City. Okay. Thanks. All right. New York. We all know that. Minnesota. St. Paul. Dakota. Pierre. I'll guess. New Mexico. Huh? Santa Fe. Wow. Do you have all this memorized?
Most of them.
Most of them? That's pretty impressive. Okay. Michigan.
Raleigh, I think.
Really? Okay.
It's either Raleigh or Lansing.
Got it. Okay, it's Lansing probably then. North Dakota.
That's Bismarck.
Bismarck. Okay. 4. Iowa.
It's
Huh?
Des Moines.
Des Moines. Okay. Okay. 9 out of 10. All right.